presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, interactive. Covering the latest in wrestling and beyond. You're listening to the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders and Diamond K.
On March 26, 2013, we are just 12 days away from a historic event known as WrestleMania 29, coming to us from the New Jersey, New York area. Can you feel it, folks? You're definitely in for a treat. We got a jam-packed episode for you guys. We're going to go more in-depth about key segments from Monday's WWE Raw, continuation of what was covered during our 30-minute post-show over on YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel over at the RCWR Show, my good friends, you're missing out on some great content as you get remixed episodes. Unlike Blog Talk Radio, we try to show a little bit of love more to our YouTube subscribers, our way of thanking them for continuing to follow us on a daily, weekly basis. So check out our YouTube channel over at the RCWR Show. Only there you'll get a 30-plus minute Raw post show from yours truly, where I give my overall analysis and general play-by-play of what all you might have missed. Really comes in handy if you're out spending a good night with the friends, family, what have you. We got a chat room open right now over on blogtalkradio.com. When you get a free moment, feel free to jump on in there. You could also kick on back in case you might not be in front of a computer or you don't feel like getting in front of a computer, laptop, portable device tonight. Hop on your phone and call in. That's the best traditional way to do it. Nothing wrong with that. Call us at 646-478-3525. Once again, just kick on back, smile and dial, 646-478-3525. And you can just kick back, enjoy the show that way. Now, before we jump right all into it, I want to take this time out to thank those of you that had took the liberty of checking out our Shine 8 wrestling post show that we did over the weekend, as you had quickly made that be one of the most downloaded stuff we've put out for the month of March. So we really appreciate that, and it's really nice to see that you guys continue to enjoy the fact that we're kind of going a little bit outside of the traditional talk of WWE, TNA. I know we dip into a little bit of Ring of Honor, but it's really nice to see that you guys are appreciating other promotions that we are covering. And trust me, the best is yet to come very soon. We're going to be covering even more promotions. We're just trying to do a very gradual, slow for you guys so that it's not all too overbearing. And we got some good stuff that's going to be lined up for you guys in the coming weeks. So I'm just going to tease you guys with that for now. If you want to interact with us on Twitter, you can do so right now. We're over at Infinity One Prod. While you're at it, take the time out to add our new Twitter handle over at the RCWR Show. You can follow that for upcoming show dates, guests that's going to be popping by, the works. Check it out. Thank me later. All right, so this past Monday Night Raw, we saw the gears in motion get pushed even further as, man, talk about that explosive Q&A panel segment that we saw from Raw this past Monday night. It was The Rock, John Cena, back for the first time, square ahead, one-on-one, so to speak. First time we've seen these two guys in the same ring in a couple of weeks. Refreshing it was to see them back, but you knew there was going to be some type of a twist that was going to come this time around. And that twist would end up being the WWE legends / future Hall of Famers that were all participating in this Q&A panel. And it was like a who's who of people that we saw. I mean, we got the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, who, honestly, folks, I am still quite upset at. Not Dusty. I'm upset at the fans. I mean, when this guy comes out, he barely gets a freaking reaction. And I remember I was kicking back, interacting with a good amount of you guys during Raw. Mad shout out to those of you, by the way. You guys know who you are, who I was interacting with. A lot of you all were like, well, maybe this is a case right here where the crowd, which was a Philly crowd at that, and Philly, they usually are a pretty damn good crowd. They're usually on top of their wrestling. They can appreciate a good wrestler when they see one. One of my Twitter followers, they pointed out, they said, well, maybe it's because it's a younger generation, maybe because there's mostly kids in attendance. Maybe that's why Dusty Rhodes didn't get the type of reception that he is, that's in his due, basically. And I kind of factor that in, but I still think amongst the city of brotherly love, I would have expected Dusty to get a much bigger pop, but nonetheless, it was what it was. We saw the hardcore legend Mick Foley, SmackDown General Manager Booker T, Bret Hitman Hart. I know I'm missing one more guy in there. We had Jerry the King Lawler. Hopefully that's all my guys. I don't think I'm missing anybody from that panel. Now, originally we were supposed to get the Nature Boy Ric Flair in that diamond, but as we would later find out, Ric Flair has been dealing with a little bit of nagging injuries. Turns out he's still having problems with one of his legs as a result of what went down in January with a blood clot. And they're trying to downplay it right now, but WWE, they're very concerned with it. They just wanted Ric Flair to kick on back and rest up. And he actually had put out a message on Facebook. This was just a little bit before we went on the air, Diamond, and this actually came from his agent, Melinda Morris of Legacy Talent and Entertainment. And she says, direct quote right here, Rick is doing well. He feels great in his home. WWE's medical staff performed a physical on Rick yesterday, so Monday, like they do all of their athletes, and recommended that he have a doctor take a closer look at his swollen leg. Upon arriving back in Charlotte today, he went to see his doctors, and it was determined that there is a blood clot, so he has another one. In case you're keeping track here. He was not admitted to the hospital, rather released with medication, which the doctors are confident will work quickly, causing Rick to completely heal soon. Rick appreciates everyone concerned and is looking forward to seeing fans at his next scheduled appearance in Hagerstown, Maryland on Friday and performing for WWE very soon. Now, I don't know. I'm going to try to see if I can go to Hagerstown for that event. It's a little bit of a stretch, but I know him, Kevin Nash, Brooke Tessmacher, they all are supposed to be at this event. Great autograph signings, photographs, and I believe there's actually supposed to be a little bit of wrestling going down with that. So, Diamond, we saw Booker T pretty much replace Ric Flair. How did you enjoy that Q&A panel? Do you think it would have been that much more had Ric Flair been a part of it, or do you think they did pretty good without him?
I think actually they did really good without him. I think that he would have probably been a bit too theatrical for the mood, and he got a lot of props during the Rock's presentation. So I thought that it was a very good segment, and one of the best closers that they've had in quite some time.
Yeah, best closer indeed. I mean, we just see The Rock and John Cena, they're going back and forth, rebuttaling one another as the WWE legends. We might as well just call them, and it's too long to say legends, future Hall of Famers. Let's just call them legends, because that's pretty much what they all are. Some might argue, but hey, it is what it is. So, the WWE legends, they're throwing their questions out there. And, one of the very most intriguing questions that was asked was directed towards John Cena from Booker T, saying, why do you feel you're going to be able to beat The Rock this time? What is it that you know that we don't know? Because we like to know what's the deal. And John Cena just seemed kind of unconfident there as he didn't answer properly. Just kind of mumbles, because I have to, and we see the panel, they're not really buying into that. They're not really feeling the confidence in his voice. Rocky is picking up on this. He wants him to dig down deep, put that truth out there. Cena finally lets him have it and say, you know what, I've never said this before. This is the first time I'm saying it right here and now, but you didn't beat me. I beat myself, and it was because of one silly mistake that I made which was basically trying to beat Dwayne Johnson with his own finisher, the People's Elbow, and that pretty much had cost him. And this time around, he's not going to make those same mistakes. He's going to do whatever it takes to get the win. And Rock buying into that, telling him once again he's basically going to come up short, just like he did last year. And to see that heated confrontation there, as The Rock tells John Cena, we don't have to wait for Mania. Let's do it right here. And I'm saying to myself, it's about damn time these two guys are getting physical, Damn time.
Right.
And, we see John Cena, he kicks it off with that "you can't see me" gesture. And Rock just pushes him, and it's on. Cena looks like he's about to get that double AA. Don't happen. Instead, we see The Rock layup, The Rock bottom. And quote one of my favorite boxing commentators, "Rock bottom Cena, Rock bottom Cena," And great explosive way to end Raw there. But, I got to pick on Bret Hitman Hart, especially when you go back, Diamond, and you watch it in slow motion. Foley, Booker, Dusty, they're all reacting as The Rock is just connecting with that rock bottom, and he's just laying John Cena out. Bret Hart is just sitting there like, okay, so is this over? Because I'd like to go home,
he looked less than impressed.
He did not look impressed at all, and I just have a weird feeling that, and with all due respect, Bret Hart, he's definitely one of my favorite technical wrestlers of all time, but, there has been times that he's come off, Diamond, as a little bit of a prima donna, and I wouldn't be too surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised.
A little bit.
Okay, a lot. A lot. I wouldn't be too surprised if he kind of
days, huh?
Yeah. I wouldn't be too surprised if he complained about that segment, wanting to have a little bit more, I won't say physicality, but a little bit more airtime, getting his thoughts out there. Diamond, we're hearing the rumblings, buddy. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, is this finally going to be the year? Is John Cena going to go heel?" What's your takeaway on this?
Well, I would love to see it happen. I just don't think it's the time. If he goes heel against The Rock, and he could do it, but The Rock's going to be gone. The Rock's going to be around for another pay-per-view, another appearance maybe. Then what? Then who's the chief nemesis for the Cena heel turn? And I just don't know who. So I think we're probably maybe another year away from the turn. I think it could possibly be against the Undertaker for the turn. I just don't. I don't know. I mean, a part of me would like to see he's laid the groundwork with some of the words that he said last night, because it could be. It could be some of the groundwork was laid, and it'll never be the same. And some of his face expressions were heel-like. The way that he approached Cena. The way that Cena approached The Rock in that last sequence when he did the "you can't see me" hand gestures, was his smirking was definitely heel-like. I think Cena's going to make a great heel.
Yeah. I hate to burst a lot of people's bubbles, as I know there's a lot of people that's kind of like, "Oh my God, it's going to happen," and I hate to burst a bubble, but let me say this before I go all negative, okay? Let me look at it from a positive standpoint. If a heel turn was to happen, this is the right time. I mean, WWE's going home, literally, New York, New Jersey area, okay? It's, a lot of history in that area, no doubt about it. There's definitely going to be a lot of people that's going to be at that event. I would expect record-breaking numbers. I mean, hell, the WWE WrestleMania Access, that's done. You can't get any more tickets for that. For those of you that have tickets, if you'd like to know a little bit of what you can expect during the whole Access week, we'll definitely give you the 411 about that later on. But for now, all the ingredients are there. They could do it. But I just don't feel that they're going to be able to do this this year. I think they need, I would hate to say they need a little bit more time, but I don't want them to really rush into it. I mean, yeah, we can kind of kick back and say, well, this has been within Cena for about a year now. Maybe they could kind of play with this in a way where Stone Cold went heel on The Rock there at that one WrestleMania, and he sided with Vince McMahon after he just could not get the job done on The Rock. Stunners left and right, and finally it took that steel chair. As a matter of fact, even after the steel chair, I remember he beat the crap out of The Rock repeatedly there, and Rock was still, kicking out. And Stone Cold, with that chair given to him by McMahon, he just went freaking belligerent, almost mauled the hell out of The Rock with that steel chair before finally picking up the win. I think they would have to kind of go that route minus a Mr. McMahon. But I don't know. I got to see a little bit more. I think I would be a little bit more convinced that, okay, a heel turn is going to possibly come at WrestleMania. But at the same time, Diamond, maybe, just maybe, and it's a high probability, maybe John Cena could go this route. Let's really think about it for a second here. You made a good argument. You said, who could really take on a heel John Cena once he takes out The Rock? Well, let's say it does go down. We know Rock is going to be sticking around for one more pay-per-view. He's got Extreme Rules. That could be your rematch right there. WWE may not be too fond with that because, it's just a regular pay-per-view. But I say, what the hell, especially if you're going to try to have the focus be on Rock versus Lesnar next. You might as well let the third epic encounter go down at Extreme Rules, winner takes all. After that, you kind of have a little bit more time to try to shuffle through all the mess and see who you could possibly get to take on John Cena. Honestly, one combination, I think that would be interesting for about 2, maybe 3 months. Let's see Sheamus do something with John Cena. I've yet to recall John Cena and Sheamus in a program. Have you?
I don't think it's happened. I don't know how interesting that would be. I just don't think Sheamus is that guy. I think he's a second to third tier level guy. Yeah, I'm looking throughout the wrestling business to try to find someone who could do that, but I couldn't find anybody outside of it. But within the business, what about Jeff Hardy? I think he would be on the level to do a feud with Cena.
Do you think maybe, just maybe, the answer could be in one who starts with the initials D and B? Maybe that could be the answer?
He would be a good, underdog type of sympathy character. I don't know. Without the beard, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, without the beard and the spotlight being put on him, and it's all about me, me, me.
I think he could. I think he could. An underdog babyface, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Great way to come back too, Get right up in his face. Those two could literally pick up right where they left off. And for you guys, there's like, who the hell is DB? All I gotta say is the Demon. That's the only hint I'm going to give you. Y'all should know who we're talking about. Let's put it to you this way. We're still waiting for a second MMA match from him, and it's yet to happen. So it's like, come on, man, what's going on there? But, honestly, they got the ingredients. They could do it at WrestleMania. And I think, honestly, when you really think about it, we hear so many people sitting up saying, oh, my God, the WrestleMania card, it sucks this year. It's nothing but about rematches. And you know what? When you just scratch under the surface, there could be a surprise in that match waiting to happen.
There's definitely going to be some surprises.
Yeah.
Plenty of them.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. And Undertaker, CM Punk, the way I've been seeing these two play it out on TV the past couple of weeks, especially what had went down last night. Right. Do you think that this could possibly be Undertaker's last hurrah, just win, lose? Do you think this is it for him? Diamond?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you think this is it for him?
Not yet. I just don't. Something in me, call it an intuition, is just saying it's not quite it.
Mm. It would have a lot of sentimental value to it if, Undertaker loses at WrestleMania, because it's kind of like, okay, wow, the same year that William Paul Bear Moody dies, Undertaker's streak ends, and, it's like, that's pretty much it. But then there's just all the stuff that CM Punk has been doing that just really gets under your skin, and you say, I just hate this motherfucker. I want to see him, get his face pounded, I'm really getting the vibe that Undertaker is going to rise to the occasion once again, and I think he's going to pick up the win, and I think fans will be okay with that. I know there's those hardcore CM Punk fans, Diamond, that they don't like seeing their beloved voice of the voiceless lose another pay-per-view for another consecutive month. But I think true wrestling fans, and definitely, Undertaker fans, and fans that love and appreciate both men, I think they would be pleased with Undertaker win. I mean, hell, you could pretty much dedicate it in memory of William Moody.
Yeah, I mean, without the Paul Bearer elements to the angle, I was just predicting a CM Punk victory. With those elements in place, I don't see how the Undertaker can lose.
Yeah. One thing's for certain, CM Punk, he's already revealed his game plan early on. He may be going for a count-out or a DQ. So, you just have to wonder right here. And just think of the way that everything has been playing out the past couple of weeks,
Right.
This Undertaker, he's definitely been devastated by the loss of his friend, and I think that's great storytelling because the Undertaker of old, he is the freaking king of the mind games. It's like, even Kane was good at it at some point, and we just see Undertaker get beat, at his own game over and over again. You think come WrestleMania, you think little brother Kane may come on down and try to help out Undertaker, or you think no interference is just going to be these two guys just getting it on?
No. I definitely see an interference. It's the story that they're telling. That's how it has to end with some type of reunion of sorts and returning the urn back to one of the quote unquote brothers of destruction or whatever. That's how this story that they're telling has to end. Yeah.
And that would be a damn good bookmark. So, folks that's looking at those 20-0 Undertaker Streak DVDs, just hold off a little longer and wait around till the holidays. We'll probably get a new repackaged version of that. There's usually a time I would buy those up, and it's like, okay, let's just wait till the man officially is done, and then check out the DVD. Triple H, as expected, he was going to come out, give his little thoughts on this new stipulation added to his match against Brock Lesnar. When I first watched it, Diamond, I definitely want to pick your brain on this, but when I first saw it, I said to myself, all right, well, Triple H, he's cutting a good promo, it's, Brock Lesnar, I'm coming for a fight, and you need to come prepared like your life is on the line. I was like, okay, all right, it's fairly decent. I really could have done without it because it was basically rehashing stuff, whatever. But then we see the awkward moment where he's looking at Wade Barrett, and Wade Barrett's kind of like, buzz off your panty. Yeah, and he needs him in the groin. I'm like, okay, was that really needed? Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's like there are moments in time when I look at Cena and I say, Cena, this is why people don't like you. When you do different things when he does. And Triple H, him kicking Wade Barrett like that and just burying him because he can, that's why some people don't like Triple H. It's the same, what he did to Sheamus, a couple of years back. It's just, these are some of the reasons why people don't like him. I really did not like that. I really did not like that.
Yeah, I definitely didn't, because I'm like, okay, that would have made a little bit more sense for the Miz to do, since they are involved in their little programs or whatever. Hell, I would have settled for Wade Barrett kind of getting up in Triple H's face saying, hey, come on, old man, you want some, come on, bring it, and we can just see Triple H kind of restraining himself because after all, he's still an executive head. And he really, there's nothing between him and Barrett. It's like, and we can see Triple H pretty much get tempted to hit him, but then Miz comes from behind, maybe does a low blow that way, and then, we see Triple H kind of back off, maybe he could kind of, smirk at the Miz, kind of give him a quick high five, and then, that could be your endorsement right there and trying to put the Miz over, but yeah, I totally agree to just do him like that. It was, just that whole segment was just a little awkward, I mean, decent promo. Don't get me wrong, trying to do his best to, get people invested into the match, but honestly, when I think back of as far as weakest segments of the night, unfortunately, and I'm a hardcore Triple H fan, that was one of the weakest segments. I mean, honestly, with that kickboxing video that came out from Stephanie McMahon last week, I was maybe expecting her to make some type of a cameo for the first time in God knows how long, and be like, baby, you need to beat, Lesnar, or maybe we see Vince McMahon give Triple H a little pep talk. I would have settled for that.
Yeah, and we still have time for that. We still have time for that.
Yeah. Hopefully, if at least not on next week's Raw, maybe at least we can get something at Mania, where they make their little cameos. I would definitely expect that, that they respectfully say, hey, go get him, kick his ass or whatever. And it looks like we're starting to see some of the inductees have
definitely.
Yeah, I'm liking that. So we got Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's going to be inducting Bruno Sammartino. What's your thoughts on that? Because I know a couple of weeks back we were saying maybe it should be Vince McMahon that should induct Bruno, kind of do it maybe like on behalf of his father, Vince McMahon Sr. there. We pleased with Schwarzenegger?
Yeah. The other thing that I noticed, and I said this on Twitter, you see who's inducting the Pittsburgh legend into the WWE Hall of Fame, right?
No, who's that?
Schwarzenegger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, somebody called that on this very program.
Let me see. I believe that was you.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm pretty sure I went the McMahon route.
Yeah, you did, and I just didn't think that would happen at all. Are you surprised or disappointed that we've not seen any live appearances from Mr. Sammartino since his announcement?
Like, what do you mean? Like maybe a quick cameo saying, hey, WWE Universe, I look forward to seeing you, this WrestleMania weekend or something like that?
I mean, it doesn't fit he doesn't really fit. But I mean, even if they had him in that last segment from yesterday, from Monday, could you have seen him in that segment?
God, no. I mean, first time that Bruno is back in a WWE ring, and we're going to do it right there. I'm sorry, but as much as I love Philly, that crowd that night, they just were not deserving of a Bruno Sammartino gracing them. I think that if Bruno would have popped up, they should have paid double for their tickets, and that goes for every single freaking seat in that arena. No, I'm not disappointed that they haven't tried to bring Bruno in to make his little cameo yet. I think they're going to do it on the grandest stage of them all, let it kick off on WrestleMania night, and that's the way that they should do it. That's the tradition that they've been doing for years now. Saturday's the Hall of Fame. They have the inductees come on out WrestleMania Sunday, and maybe, there's a little taste of some of them making a quick cameo on Monday's Raw. Yeah. And we already know Bruno's locked for the night after WrestleMania. We know that for certain, as he is scheduled to do a couple of more appearances. But, I'm a little disappointed that it wasn't Vince McMahon, but at the same time, I'm definitely happy that Bruno has Schwarzenegger. Of course, as y'all may not know, or if you do know, that's good. But for those of you that don't know, we actually interviewed Bruno Sammartino several weeks back, and it was a great 45-minute interview. And I had asked him about Arnold Schwarzenegger as he was getting ready to be inducted into the International Sports Hall of Fame. And Bruno was saying, it's going to be nice to catch up with Arnold. The two of them, they go way back, training days, before he went to go wrestle for the WWF and Vince Senior's promotion. And I could really tell that, he was really happy to be seeing his longtime friend. And he's still amazed that this guy ended up becoming a bodybuilder, Hollywood actor, and governor. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But I'm not disappointed one little bit whatsoever. And it's funny that you mentioned Bruno Sammartino. We actually got to show him a little bit of love because they finally had released a little bit of a trailer for his documentary, independent documentary at that. It's not affiliated with the WWE, but I'm quite sure that WWE, they are working on their own little version with matches, the works. But this one, you can check it out right now by going to Bruno Sammartino's website. Hop on over to BrunoSammartino.com, or you can go to BrunoSammartino.info. Either way, it'll take you directly to his site, and you can see a 9+ minute trailer for his new documentary. It's pretty good, very insightful, has some great wrestling stories, the works, nice little preview, a good taste of things to come. And, of course, we wish Bruno all the best. I'm looking forward to seeing him get inducted. How about Mick Foley, though, Diamond? Mick Foley's got Terry Funk inducting him. I think that is a damn good move.
Yeah, definitely. I don't see another choice unless it was going to be Jude Love to induct him. I think that's an excellent choice. Definitely spectacular choice, and one that he's a good co-headlining entity.
And the names, they just go together. When you open up Mick Foley's wrestling career, Terry Funk is just all over the place. Those two guys, they have done some really freaking brutal matches. So gruesome. A lot of them didn't even make it to TV, unfortunately. I think that's a damn smart pick. Trish Stratus, she still isn't quite sure who's going to be inducting her, but on a recent polling that she's asked fans, it looks like Lita has won by a huge margin. So whether or not we're possibly going to see Lita, how would you feel about Lita inducting Trish?
Yeah, I think that's a great choice. Some other Lita's a choice that makes sense to us, but we have to keep in mind that I don't know what the relationship is with Trish and Lita. So is that the right decision for Lita in her real life? That's what we would have to look at.
Yeah. I'm hoping we can see something like that happen. But you know what? It would be very interesting because if this little trend, I don't know if you're picking this up, but so far, based on the few names that we're hearing, looks like these WWE Hall of Famers that's going to be inducted, they're getting people of great sentimental value, and on top of that, they're not even reaching out for folks within the WWE. I mean, let's look at Booker T now. Now, he revealed that 9 times out of 10, it's probably, I believe he said it's going to be his brother that is going to be inducting him. Yeah. Now, did I understand that right? It's going to be his brother, or his brother is going to be at the event?
Well, I don't think he's made the official announcement, but I would think that it would be his brother to do it.
Yeah. If not his brother, let me ask you this. If not his brother, what about Diamond Dallas Page?
Well, it's random.
I'm just trying to stay in that whole WCW theme, because his greatest accomplishments came, in WCW, and so I'm my WCW history. I'll let you guys know after break. It's a little fuzzy, so I'll definitely need your help with this one. But hasn't Booker T and DDP in WCW didn't they feud a good amount of times? If not, then who of his caliber could you see inducting him?
If not Stevie Ray, I would say Teddy Long.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because wasn't he one of their early managers?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. He was the manager, early manager of Harlem Heat. So I would. They have a storied history, at least an on-air one, and of course their interactions, through the general manager, assistant general manager, that type of stuff. So I would say Teddy Long would be somebody that I would expect due to their on-air chemistry. But then there's also his wife.
Yeah, I don't see that.
I don't know how glamorous that is, but usually the wives are, sitting waving in the audience. But I'm leaning more towards Stevie Ray, first pick, Teddy Long, second pick.
Okay. Hey, as long as we don't see David Arquette, I'm happy, man. It's
that would be pretty bad.
Yeah. But I think Teddy Long would be a smart way to go, especially since we're hearing those rumblings that it's expected Booker T could be going heel after WrestleMania. I think that would make a lot of sense. You have Teddy Long induct him, and we can see Booker kind of follow up on that and say, hey, you didn't get my permission to induct. That would be. I don't know.
That would be crazy.
That would be kind of crazy, but I don't know. Booker T, he's kind of demonstrated that crazy side, before, So I could just see it now. My brother's supposed to be here. Where is he? And he's like, Teddy, you gonna have to do it. And then maybe we could kind of see Teddy kind of give a, it's somewhat of a decent introduction to Booker T. A decent induction, but Booker T could kind of light him up, later on and start making him eat crap. I think that would be kind of nice. And Teddy's like, hey, player, let me holler at you, man. Holla, holla, holla. Why you doing me like that, dog? I think that would be kind of funny to see play out. But I'm hoping that they go the Stevie route. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that the lovely, sensational Sherry isn't with us today, because hands down, that would be the one.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Yeah. Yeah,
definitely go.
Yeah, that would be the one. So let's see. Overall, what did you think about WWE Raw? I mean, it kind of felt like it was a little bit dragging on at some points, but
several points.
Yeah. Even surprisingly with the Fandango, Jericho, once again, he's getting the "you can't wrestle" chance, and never mind the beautiful leg drop that he did off the top turnbuckle. As now it's set, Fandango is going to be taking on Chris Jericho. We called this at least about, if not a week ago, 2 weeks ago. You think the fans are just being silly with Fandango, or they're letting it be known they don't particularly care for this guy?
I think they're letting them know that they don't particularly care for him, and I think that he's getting the type of heat that his character was designed for. They're saying that you can't wrestle because he has not wrestled, and they're quote-unquote assuming that he can't, and he's making excuses why he cannot because he can't. But I think that the result is going to actually be quite the opposite, and I think he's going to be a good wrestler with a lot of different moves.
Let me ask you this, and this is a very valid point. How come when we got the Damien Sandow vignettes, and then Damien Sandow, he graced us with his appearance for a couple of weeks, refused to wrestle, he did not get those chants? Why do you think that is? What is making Fandango different from Damien Sandow? It would be justified if Sandow had got those type of chants as well, but he didn't. And I think his little teases lasted for about I would like to say 3 weeks, maybe close to a month.
Yeah. I think close to a month. Yep, I think you're right. I've enjoyed the whole way that they've been portraying Fandango since we actually saw him on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the way they're going with it, and I think that they shot him right to the top of the mid card.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Yeah.
But you WWE Universe fans, some of y'all confusing the hell out of me, because you didn't boo Sandow, and he teased you guys for a month, but you booed the hell out of Fandango. I don't get that. That's
I mean, evidently there's nothing more obnoxious than a ballroom dancer.
With a glittery entrance coming out.
Yeah.
Man, they invested in that boy big time. Ain't even had a damn match yet, and he's got the nice little stage joint and all that. Frickin' Chris Jericho's lights don't even go off anymore when he comes out. So we can see his light up jacket. Dang, connect the dots. That's what I say every time I see the daggone lights go out. We see them bright dots on his daggone jacket. It's like, time to connect. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, God,
Absolutely.
It's crazy. A lot of people were sitting up saying, is The Rock going to help Raw? Because Raw was kind of dragging. Did The Rock bring in the numbers? For those of you that might not know, we got your 411. Looks like WWE Raw ratings are in for this past Monday night, as it scored 3.24, a 3.24 cable rating, and averaged 4.62 million viewers. And so far, it looks like the viewers is up by 8% from last week's episode, as it respectively had averaged 4.26 million viewers for a overall cable rating of 3.04, I believe. Now, we should point out to you that in the first hour of this week's Raw, viewership came in at 4.58 million viewers and increased to 4.69 million viewers in a second. Viewership in the third and final hour, however, once again, Diamond, dropped to 4.58 million viewers. If you're keeping track, as we have been, this makes the 11th consecutive week that viewership has decreased from the second to the third hour. too long. They're going to have to do something with that. I honestly...
As far as the 3 hours?
As far as the 3 hours, they're going to have to do something because apparently there's not enough shock value for that third hour, man.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. They're making more money during these 3 hours than they would during the 2. And that's what it's about. It's about the TV rights and the licensing and those type of things. And they're making more money no matter what the rating is because of the third hour of, the program.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 hours is not going anywhere.
As soon as you said 3 hours, I just thought to myself, I got to get very nice and comfortable next week because the doors open at 6:30 p.m. And, I know I'm going to be sitting through a lot of stuff before the program comes on. In case you guys might have missed it, yours truly is going to be going to the Washington, D.C. Center, at Washington, D.C. area, at the Verizon Center next Monday night for WWE Raw. I'm going to be providing pictures, live tweets, even going to post stuff on Facebook all throughout the night. So look out for it. I've got some pretty awesome seats. I'm pretty close to the ring. And I actually finally, Diamond, I had ordered some new RCWR shirts. I was playing around with the designs, and originally I had a problem with one of the shirt distributors, so I just said, okay, let me just take my time with this and see who can give me the best deal possible. And I'm very proud to say I got some prototypes on the way, and I'm going to be testing them out. And so be on the lookout for it. If you know our logo, be on the lookout for it. And if you spot me, make sure you take a picture. Those of you that's going to be at the Verizon Center, if you happen to spot me, definitely say hi. Hell, I might even want to go out for drinks afterwards. But I'll share some of my experience. If it's not too late, hopefully I can be out of the event by 11:30. Diamond, I'll definitely join you on the Raw Post Show over on Ustream Radio. And we'll definitely follow up on it on next Tuesday's show. But looking very forward to it. Follow us if you haven't followed us on Twitter yet. You can do so at Infinity1Prod. And follow us on the RCWR Show, both Twitter handles, and Facebook at Infinity One Production. And as I said, we'll give you guys pictures, all that, whole 9 yards, all throughout the night for next Monday night. It's our way of finally starting to take the show out on the road. I'm eyeballing the hell out of that Hagerstown, Maryland event. I want to try to see if I can make that happen because I think that would be kind of awesome to kind of cover that. I'm still playing around with that, but D.C. is a lock. I will be at Raw. Let's go on ahead, and I'm trying to see what more wrestling news we got to cover. I'm trying to think off the top of my head some interesting headlines. The one that had jumped out at me the most, Diamond, was what had went down there with Chris Masters. We didn't get a chance to talk about that as it kind of happened, I believe, like right after Thursday, I think. In case you guys might have not heard, Chris Masters, he saved his mom from her burning house at some nut job. I believe it was her boyfriend or, I don't know, relative, somebody. They did some stupid crap, and basically they barricaded his mom in there, and like the Superman that he is, because he is the masterpiece and all, he managed to get in there, save his mom, and he ended up posting some pictures of his injuries, minor injuries, looked like little punks, cat scratches, but he was kind of drawing blood a little bit. And, my hat's off to him. I mean, there's really nothing more I can say about that. It's like, who wouldn't save their freaking mom from a burning building, or die trying, I mean,
or at least try.
Yeah, at least try, exactly.
But I mean, going into depth about the length that he went to save her, like uprooting some type of a tree and bashing in with the tree is a bit. I mean, that's just amazing. And do you think that WWE should give him a new contract because of this?
he's been getting a lot of attention. I must admit, he's gotten more attention than his entire career in the WWE. Hell yeah, they need to try to do something with him. Quite honestly, I'm a little bit disappointed that WWE didn't reach out to him for an exclusive WWE.com interview like they did, if I'm not mistaken, with Sean Daivari, who had put a sleeper hold on that guy on that Amtrak train being disruptive. Yeah. I'm very surprised WWE hasn't reached out to Chris Masters, and I guess maybe that kind of. Well, maybe. Well, you would think that if they have, come on, it's Chris Masters. I mean, I can understand if it's, Batista or something like that, but, they would have said something by now, I don't know, man. I don't know, but my hat's off to Chris Masters. Definitely seems like a decent guy. I think, any chick that's listening, and if Chris Masters is single, there's sounds like grade A material, future marriage, hubby right there and all that, What more can you want in a guy, House is on fire, call Chris Masters. He's got you covered.
Maybe he does. If he likes you.
What's that?
That's if he likes the girl. He may not like her.
Well, trust me.
You let the house burn down.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn, that would be so messed up. We were talking briefly about the VIP Superstar sessions for this year's WrestleMania Access, and as we said earlier, they're sold out. We'll mention this to you next week, but for those of you that, have your tickets and you're a little bit curious what all you can expect, I got a quick rundown for you. I'm not going to go through the entire list. You can see most of this information on WWE's website. I'll just give you what's going to go down for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. If you want to know what's going to be happening on Sunday, go to their website. Thursday, April 4th from 6 to 10 p.m., you get a chance to meet Mark Henry, Booker T, Jack Swagger, Prop Time Players, 3MB, Rosa Mendez, WWE Hall of Famer Jimmy Snuka, and many more. Sounds pretty good right there. Friday night, April 5th, 6 to 10, you get to meet The Miz, Alberto Del Rio, The Shield, Kofi Kingston, Ted DiBiase, Fandango, Zack Ryder, Alicia Fox, many more. Saturday, April 6th, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., you get to meet the Bella Twins, Daniel Bryan, The Miz, WWE Hall of Famer Jim Ross, Brodus Clay, Carmen Naomi, another WWE Hall of Famer, Jerry Lawler, JBL, Paul Heyman, Lita, Billy Gunn, and many more. That Saturday sounds pretty good. Saturday is what you guys want to be paying attention to. Saturday, April 6th, 1 to 5 p.m., you get to meet CM Punk, Chris Jericho, Wade Barrett, Alberto Del Rio, sounds like he's making another round there, Damian Sandow, Great Khali, oh Lord, and Layla. And also on Saturday, April 6th from 6 to 10, you get to meet Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler, AJ Lee, Ryback, Santino Marella, in case you guys are wondering what he's been up to. He's been injured. He's been taking it day by day, but there's your chance to meet the guy. I actually can't wait to see him come back on WWE programming. I actually missed the guy. I was thinking about him about 2 weeks ago. I was saying, I wonder how Santino's been holding up. You get to meet all three members of The Shield. Christian, R-Truth. Well, here's a name that we haven't seen on main WWE programming in a while, Diamond. Ezekiel Jackson.
Yeah, he still works there?
That's what I said. I almost had him confused with the black guy in the Old Spice commercials. I thought that was him. I thought he moved on. See, you get to meet Tenzai, or a.k.a. Sweet Tea, Big E Langston, Justin Gabriel, Tyson Kidd, Yoshi Tatsu. Whoa, here's a name for you guys, Rikishi, Howard Finkel, and many more. If you want to know what's going down with Sunday, It's jam-packed. If you want to know what's going on for Sunday, I highly recommend that you go to the WWE.com website. I can tell you this much, though, from looking at Sunday, and I'm pausing on purpose, there's only 3 names for Sunday that you guys would be interested in meeting. The rest of them, But, it's a damn good weekend. Go check that out, and we'll remind you guys next weekend as WrestleMania draws more closer. So, Diamond, I definitely want to get your thoughts on this, buddy. Looks like after years and years of wrestling, looks like Jerry Lynn, he finally had his retirement match over the weekend as he was in a tag match there. I believe it was he with Horace, the Psychopath, taking on J.B. Trask and X-Pac. And true story, X-Pac, a.k.a. Sean Waltman, he actually ripped himself a new asshole during the match. And
I can't believe you said that.
Hey, it's the truth. He ripped himself a new asshole. I mean, so much blood was everywhere, apparently. He almost could have died to death, but luckily that was not the case. He was in a hospital the other day, but they released him earlier today, gave him some antibiotics, and doctor pretty much told him how to operate without popping those stitches. So Sean Waltman, get better, buddy. And he tried to do the Bronco Buster. That's part of his repertoire, but I have a feeling that since he hasn't really flexed those particular muscles in a good while, that maybe the Bronco Buster was not the best of choice. And I'm trying to figure out how to get away from that awkward moment there. Jerry Lynn, what's your fondest memories of the former ECW and TNA World Heavyweight Champion?
He didn't have that big main event superstar run. To me, my opinion, because he doesn't have any good mic skills, that really being the only thing holding him back. But I mean, definitely a good performer. His WCW run was not memorable, and a cup of coffee pretty much in WWE. But definitely a talented guy. Almost 50, I believe, and so I mean, it's time.
Yeah, it really is. And the one thing that always will stand out in my mind of Jerry Lynn, and I can't stress this enough, one of the hardest working, underrated guys to ever put on a pair of boots. I mean, that guy has given us such phenomenal matches, and he's definitely going to be missed. He's definitely going to be one of those guys that I think never really got his opportunity to shine for those big major promotions. And I'm sure that there's a small part in him that is probably eating away that, he never was a household name, as far as WWE goes. But, I mean, he's made legions of fans, through his hard work, and always, no matter what, you could have an entire bad pay-per-view, but you knew that you were going to get money if Jerry Lynn was on the card. So, you kind of took comfort knowing that, before you left the event, you were definitely going to get a 4-5-star quality type of match in Jerry Lynn. And I would hope that now that he's done wrestling, I would hope that maybe certain company in Stamford, Connecticut, maybe they can kind of tap into his experience and kind of pass on the knowledge that he has to those younger wrestlers. I mean, that would be a damn good combination down there at their training facilities. I mean, you already got Billy Gunn down there. You got Sean Waltman down there. You got Triple H kind of focusing on it a little bit more. to have Jerry Lynn down there. I think that would be a very interesting combination. Would you agree?
I mean, he definitely has knowledge he could pass on.
Yeah.
That would really be a nice way for him to continue to contribute to the to the up and coming wrestlers. Definitely.
Yeah, it really would. But my hat's off to Jerry Lynn. I'm definitely going to miss him. One of the last matches that I saw him in, and I know he's done a couple of more since then, but I had checked it out on DVD. It was the Extreme Reunion. I believe it was the second Extreme Reunion that they did, and I believe we did a post show for that, and I was covering the match that he was in. I can't remember the person he was taking on, unfortunately, but I just remember that was one of like two main highlights that I had of that pay-per-view, because it was a pretty bad pay-per-view, but I was just blown away, as always, kicking back, seeing Jerry Lynn do his thing. But, yeah, he's definitely going to be missed. We're hearing a little bit of buzz there from WWE Creative as after the firing of Eric Panowski a couple of weeks back. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. Looks like WWE right now, they don't have a single lead creative writer. As of right now, there's approximately 4. And looks like Stephanie McMahon, she wants for there to be more. Remember, we told you guys a couple of weeks back that she's been pressing the writers more to give Vince McMahon more options for WWE programming. And it looks like a guy that is replacing Pankowski is a guy that was hired by him as a VP in creative a couple of months back. And he's now been promoted to senior VP. There's another writer by the name of David Cressman, who's a daytime Emmy winner, who was hired for a few months back. Then you have Ted Kowski, who is Raw's lead writer, Dave Kapoor, who is the SmackDown lead writer, and Ryan Ward, who works with Dusty Rhodes on NXT. And, Diamond, you'll find this funny. I definitely want to get your overall takeaway on this, buddy. It looks like there's a running joke going around right now that there's a lot of people that had different titles and that the pay sucks for the positions that they have, and that within the past weeks there's actually been a group of people that's been asking for raises and were denied. One was quoted saying they have enough money to field a football team. You think this is why sometimes we get a lot of hot and cold storytelling, because the writers are kind of being a little bit half-assed? You know, I kind of believe in the saying of, treat a person that you really appreciate as though they truly are valuable, or else you're going to get poor service.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's it. I think that as it relates to the writing, when you have writers who are writing who are not wrestling fans, I think that's why we get some of the things that we get, because these guys are not wrestling fans. Vince is bringing them in to, for storytelling. But wrestling is unique, and wrestling is not like, daytime television or soap operas, and it's just unique. And I think in order to write wrestling, you need to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, that's damn true. That's damn true. It doesn't matter how many Emmy Awards. I don't care if you wrote for the hit series MASH. Unless you've got years of experience kicking back, at least as a casual wrestling fan and watching a promotion, you really don't know. It kind of reminds me of this great Colt Cabana series that's on YouTube. Creative Has Nothing For You. God, I love that freaking thing. Every single week is Colt Cabana and his one of his buddies, and basically he comes in as the wrestler saying, "So, Creative, what do you got for me this week?" And they give him this lamest ass ideas, and it's ridiculous. We got some other stuff on our Facebook page, but this is something, this And the fact that they're doing the daggone diva search again, it's like, did you guys not learn anything from Maurice, Christy Hemme, Kelly Kelly, Stacy Keibler? Did you guys not learn anything? It's like every single time you take these women that don't know diddly squat about wrestling, they just know how to pose and look cute, and you take them in, you build them up, you get their stock level up, they leave you high and dry. Have you not learned anything yet? You know, now, the only person that's actually been winging it out, and I've gone on record many times, and it's messed up that they're still doing her the way that they're doing her, Layla. She's been the one freaking diva that's been consistent for them.
Even after injuries or whatever, yeah.
Even after injuries.
Yeah.
You know, and where is she right now? I mean, when was the last time she had a run with the title? I know she just dropped it, you know, this year, but reign really wasn't, you know, that much impressive, you know, to be talking about. You know, I don't know, maybe it was because of the injury that she had, you know, as she didn't quite have that same fire in her as she had when
I
she
mean, she's
with,
up there. I think she's up there in age, too.
Yeah. You know, it's frustrating. It's like, leave the freaking models alone. You know, there's beautiful women on the independent wrestling circuit that know how to wrestle first and foremost, you know, and just happen to be freaking pretty, you know, just go for them. You know, what do you think is their obsession with these bony little stick figure model girls that don't know nothing about wrestling?
I don't think that that's the problem as much as I think that if you look at somebody like Trish, I think that, I think Finley was the one that was really working with her. They have to have the right person training these girls. If the girl cannot know about it. I mean, I don't know how much Mark Henry or even Kurt Angle, for that matter, knew about pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, with the desire, the proper teacher, they can get it. And so there have been, for all the girls that have come in, that you named. I mean, if you look at, let's take Natty Neidhart. Why hasn't she been a runaway success? And she knows how to wrestle. I think that a lot of times it's behind the scenes stuff that comes into play. And wrestling, knowing how to wrestle is just part of it. I mean, it's that right mix. I really liked The Rock's talking about his failures and how he, kept at it. Some of these girls, may not have the ability to keep going forward when something's not working out. And The Rock really brought that up well, how his initial Rocky Maivia run didn't go well, and they sent him home. Mm-hmm. But he kept at it.
Yeah, sent him home with injury. And he was determined to come back, and he told them, look, give me a mic and let me do my thing, and the rest was history. He became one of the youngest WWE champions for his time, till he crossed paths with one Stone Cold Steve Austin for the first time, lost the belt, kicking himself in the ass, how can I get back to the top, and just stayed on top of himself, perseverance. And I'm hoping for the best, though. So it looks like we were teasing it last week. Let's go just quickly in depth about it. WWE, it looks like they're getting ready to make another Triple H DVD that's going to be coming out this year. One of the big names that had actually stopped by the NXT promotion last week, in part to do a segment for Triple H's new DVD, was none other than Dave Batista. And Diamond, we were kind of talking about this a couple of weeks back. Do you think this is the beginning of a ongoing negotiations to get Batista back into the WWE?
Well, I mean, this is how it goes. This is how they start. This is how they started with Bret Hart. This is definitely the way, is to give them a little peek inside of the machine and say, here's how things are going, and you're welcome back into the fold. Let's make some money together.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, let's make a lot of money. I wonder if he has a chance of getting a Brock Lesnar deal.
Say that again?
I said I wonder if he has a chance of getting the Brock Lesnar deal.
I don't think so. I mean, think so.
Hey, come on though. He's undefeated. He's 1-0 right now in MMA. That's got to count for something, Looks like WWE, they're going to be re-releasing WrestleMania 1 through 15 events on DVD, running up into this respected year's WrestleMania. If you hop on over to our Facebook page right now, you can see some of the new cover designs for it. And this is pretty great, especially if you're looking to collect all the WrestleManias for the very first time, and then good timing for you to check this out. And it looks like right now covers 3 and 13 are not yet revealed. That should be forthcoming, I would think, this week or just right before WrestleMania. Speaking of WrestleMania, Diamond Buddy, let's go ahead and let's give some early match predictions, man. I mean, the way this is looking right now, it's safe to say that WrestleMania 29, it's in the books. We got the matches. Let's go ahead and run right down it, buddy. I know one of the matches we're going to be seeing is Wade Barrett taking on The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. How you see this one playing out?
Yawn. Aside from that, I mean, I feel like I've seen this match 13 times.
And we have.
And hopefully it'll be like on the YouTube special or something like that, and I can, skip it.
Nah, buddy, it's official. It's on the actual card.
Yeah. So I don't know.
No YouTube.
The Miz winning with a very bad-looking figure 4. How can you screw up the figure 4? You know what I mean? It's like screwing up the DDT or something. I mean, how can you screw up the figure 4? He just looks completely awkward doing the figure 4.
He really does. Okay, this goes here, and I think this goes here, and yeah, that should do it. Yeah. I'm going with the Miz, and I do believe he's going to win in that type of fashion, as you said. I would expect it to be I expect it to be a fast-paced type of match. Maybe a lot of brawling. I'm expecting a lot of striking in this match. But yeah, I see Miz becoming the new Intercontinental Champion. All right, Chris Jericho is going to be taking on Fandango. Usually when Chris Jericho has a match at WrestleMania, shortly afterwards he rolls out, but this is Chris Jericho we're talking about. This man's become unpredictable now, so let's not even talk about, is Jericho going to be leaving the night after WrestleMania? Let's just deal with the match as it is. Jericho Fandango. How you see this playing out, as it'll be Fandango's wrestling debut match?
Yeah, well, I like the Fandango character. I'm predicting him to win.
Fandango, WrestleMania debut. They've been hyping him up this long. Honestly, from a booking standpoint, folks, it makes no sense for Chris Jericho to pick up a win over someone they're trying to dub as up and coming. Fandango needs to rub off from Jericho. I think it would do huge wonders for him. And I will go on record and say I expect for this match to be one of the show stealers of the night. I think there's a reason why we haven't seen this young man wrestle yet under this gimmick. We may be a little bit familiar with what he did as Johnny Curtis, but maybe there's been some drastic improvement since then. And I think it's those ingredients combined with what we've been seeing from him in recent weeks. Yeah, Fandango's going to go over in true heel-like fashion. Hopefully he throws the insult to injury and he gets his dance partner and he dances over Chris Jericho's corpse. I mean, when I saw him do that on Raw this past Monday, I couldn't help but not think about Street Fighter and how after Vega would get done kicking your ass, you know, he would throw roses out there at you. And then the other character, I can't think of his name, I think it was the Mike Tyson-looking brother. I think he used to bust out some salsa shakers or something like that after he got done beating your ass. So, yeah, Fandango for the win. All right, Team Hell Knows, Kane and Daniel Bryan. They're going to be taking on Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston for WWE Tag Titles. If there was ever a time where the tag titles are in jeopardy, it is with this combination. How you see this going down?
Yeah, I see them picking up the tag team title.
Kane and Daniel Bryan really feel as though they've run their course.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, 2 months ago.
Yeah. At least by 2-3. Yeah, you know, I mean, God, they used to be one of the best highlights for what could be a bad Raw. I mean, I literally used to talk to people that earlier in the months they would watch Raw just to see what the hell Kane and Daniel Bryan were going to do, as it seemed like they were on a hot streak of topping whatever they did comedy skit-wise the week before. And, yeah, they've been really running very cold. I definitely think it's time to see these guys break up, go back to singles competition. Kane, he's been there, done that. I'm more interested in Daniel Bryan continuing on a very successful singles career. Yeah, Dolph Ziggler or Big E Langston, I'd like to see them become the new tag champions. Let's put it out there right now, as I think we should go to the next match that will come later on. Alberto Del Rio taking on Jack Swagger for the World Heavyweight Championship. We know we got to put it out there. Two-part question. Who wins in that match? And do we see Dolph Ziggler try to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase?
I have Del Rio retaining. No cashing. Maybe an attempt, but he'll change his mind.
I'm on the fence on this one.
They made it a point last night to mention that he has until July to cash in.
Thank you for pointing that out. Wow, I didn't even hear that.
He has not been doing that, yeah.
Wow. So he has until July.
Right.
Sounds like they did a little bit of a rollover from that match he won. What was that? Against John Cena. Was that at the Money in the Bank pay? Which one was that?
When he got the Money in the Bank.
What was the pay-per-view that he just took on Cena for the briefcase? I want to say No Way Out.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
You know, somewhere around there. Yeah, basically it sounds like he's gotten an extra couple of months. Sounds like basically an extension, because it should have run out a little bit sooner than that. Well, if that's the case...
I thought it was running out in June.
Right. Well, I thought sooner than that. I was thinking May. Damn. That's huge. Okay, well, if that's the case, now that they put that out there, yeah, I don't see a cash-in then. I don't see a cash-in. I see an attempt.
What are we going to do after WrestleMania is over with? You know? This is going to be a major storyline. I'm thinking the major storyline would be whether he's going to have two titles.
You would think that would be the route they would go. I mean, I think that would just be freaking awesome. I mean, we haven't seen it happen in WWE in a long time. You know?
Maybe Shawn Michaels might be the last person that I can think of that was like that. Might
be more recent than that. I gotta take a day to think about it, but I think it was a little bit more recent than that. Who'd you say you see with that? You see Swagger?
No, I see Del Rio retaining. I think it's going to be cashed in on Del Rio, but I just don't think it's going to be cashed in WrestleMania.
I'll match you. I see Del Rio. They're really trying to get him over as one of the top baby faces, and I'm sorry, but his struggling, slapping on the arm, telling the person to get up, it's like he's just forcing it, so hard to try to get the fans to root him on. Love that Ricardo Rodriguez, though. Man, is he a screamer. Yeah, I'll go with Alberto Del Rio for the win. All right, let's talk about Ryback taking on Mark Henry. Man, two Bisons just getting it on. We heard a little bit of rumblings that Mark Henry was injured at a WWE live event over the weekend as he injured his knee. But Diamond, from what we kind of saw there on Raw, looked like, I didn't see any limping or anything. I think he's okay. Maybe it was just a little sore. But in either case...
I think so.
Yeah, Ryback, Henry, how you see this going down?
It's really difficult to just call the winner, but I think it's going to be Ryback.
If I'm booking this, Ryback. Ryback needs this because there was those, 2-3 months, including an episode of Raw, that he came short with the winning the WWE title. So, you got to have him come out on top. Some people will kind of look at those losses. Some may argue, well, it doesn't count because he never was pinned. He didn't submit. But if you're smart and you just say, fuck that bullshit. Come on, let's be for real. He's lost. He needs this win. So, yeah, I'd like to see Ryback go over Mark Henry. And I'm a huge Mark Henry fan, but, when I hear, oh, my God, Mark Henry kind of had a little bit of a small incident with an injury at a house show, I'm a little bit kind of prone right now. I'm, using caution because he's right next to Rey Mysterio as far as those daggone knee injuries and all that other good stuff goes. So I'm going with Ryback. Sheamus, Randy Orton, Big Show. It's official. They announced it, I believe, yesterday. They're going to be taking on the Shields, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, 6-man tag match. Who you got?
I got Randy Orton turning heel.
You got him abandoning his partners?
Yeah. I think they're putting the focus on Big Show. Randy is kind of laying in the weeds, if you will. I got him turning heel. And I also have the Shield winning this.
Shield need this. I mean, they've been on a freaking roll. I love the guys. I mean, just everything about them. I mean, just their unique entrance is, kind of borrowing a few elements from the Sandman, but I love it nonetheless. They need this. They need this win, hands down. I mean, you got to keep the momentum going for them. They're not stale yet. Everybody still, loves them. They think they're one of the hottest things that's happening for the company right now. And I love the way WWE has been smart in utilizing them. If I'm not mistaken, and I got to do a little homework, but if I'm not mistaken, they're pretty close to surpassing the length that we got to see Nexus. So for this one, yeah, I'm going with the Shield for the win. Let's see what matches we got left. Let's go right into it. Triple H, Brock Lesnar, no holds barred. Triple H loses. That's it for his wrestling career, as Triple H had pointed out on Raw. So now we have the clarification, which was something that we were talking about last week, Diamond. It's like, what exactly is on the line? Now we know it's his wrestling career. How you see this going down?
I see Triple H losing and doing some kind of retirement speech on Raw. And, of course, eventually coming back to wrestle.
Man, so you got Brock Lesnar 2-0 over Triple H.
Yeah.
I think I see where you're going with this. You're trying to have Brock Lesnar look strong.
Not fair, even. Yeah, but Brock Lesnar's strong.
Right. You're trying to you're looking at this from the standpoint of Brock Lesnar looking strong, leading into a future program with The Rock potentially at next year's WrestleMania.
That's absolutely what happened.
Man, this is a tough one for me because on the one hand, I just am keeping in my mind that this is Triple H. This is the guy that usually, okay, for all this money that we're giving you, you got to bow down to the king. You know, there's that standpoint. But then there's what you just said. I hate to do this, but as I think you're right, but I don't know. Spider sense is tingling. I'm going with Triple H. You know, I got to go with Triple H. I mean, the honor, the pride, there's a lot of stuff on the line right here. I would expect Stephanie, Vince McMahon, I expect them making some type of cameos to try to pump up Triple H. Still hearing a little bit of rumblings that Shawn Michaels might try to make a little cameo too. New Age Outlaws, Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, they got destroyed by this guy. I got to go with Triple H for the redemption. But look for Lesnar to do something post-match. I think after Triple H gets, an explosive victory over a bloodied Brock Lesnar, I think Triple H may end up in a situation where maybe he's going to be celebrating a little bit too long, and Lesnar could just destroy him right there. And as a result of that, we don't see Triple H for several weeks, or that could be something that happens on Raw the following night. Triple H comes out, tries to give a little victory speech, and, maybe we see Brock Lesnar crash the party, take him out for a couple of months. That way you have Lesnar still look strong, and how surprising it would be to have it go down the same night that we could probably get The Rock in the arena. There's your little brush off right there. You can have the two finally cross paths for the first time. Undertaker versus CM Punk is the streak versus the best in the world. I'll still give him that title, even though it belongs to Chris Jericho. How you got that match?
See, it depends. Like how you saying with Brock and Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that the winners and the losers of these matches, these two specifically, are going to reflect each other. Because if the Undertaker wins, then that means Brock Lesnar's going to win. But if, they're not going to have the face and face go over in these two matches, the heel and heel. It's going to be one or the other in each, whichever match it is. This is one of the major drawing matches. So, based on the story that they're telling, the Undertaker wins.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Undertaker wins, then Brock Lesnar has to win. I mean, I just don't think that they're going to have Brock Lesnar foiled, CM Punk foiled. There has to be, with WWE, there's some type of a balance. And I believe now that CM Punk is injured, he wants to take some time off. Mm-hmm. In order to do that, he's going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I think he should be the one to end the streak, but I think that he's going to lose. And so that's how I feel about that. But I think that it's going to be a really good match, as matches go.
I agree with you 100%. I think, honestly, folks, if it was a case where CM Punk is 100% and he's rejuvenated and all that, I could actually see. I would actually go on record and say he's going to get the win over Undertaker. But as Diamond, as you pointed out, he's too banged up. You know, that 400+ days being out on the road. I mean, you know, we haven't seen a workhorse like him in quite some time as far as the WWE champion goes. He needs some much needed rest. And WWE, they realized they got a lifer in CM Punk if they treat him right. And unfortunately, as sad as it may be, yeah, he's going to lose to Taker. You might be onto something there with Brock Lesnar. I kind of see what you're saying. You know, there has to be some type of a shock value, and, you know, there couldn't possibly be that many faces going over at WrestleMania. Which brings us to the last match. The Rock taking on John Cena for the WWE Championship. Thoughts on that match?
Well, this match, I've gone back and forth about it, but the events of last night told me the winner. And the winner is going to be John Cena. John Cena was left laying at the, you know, after receiving the rock bottom. He attempted to do his move. The closing moments were the Rock being triumphant. That told me that Cena was going to win.
Yeah. Usually when you see somebody get buried like that, 9 times out of 10, they got the win coming to them. You know, if you've been watching WWE long enough, you know you're just able to call it like that. You know, I can see that happening. Let's put that $1 million question out there, though, because you just touched on something a few seconds ago. You said how we can't see all these baby faces go over, but is that the match that you want to have people be talking about? Look, we already got a lot of people that's complaining about this card. Now, let's just get this little ridiculous little, you know, it's a bunch of rematches. Let's just get that crap out the way right now. This is going to be the very first time that Brock Lesnar and Triple H are going to be going head-to-head at WrestleMania. Is it a follow-up to what they did at SummerSlam? Yes. But this match, respectively, it has a gimmick match. There's a stipulation put to it. It's the first time that these two guys are colliding at WrestleMania. Okay, so that's technically a new match in itself. We're looking at The Rock versus Cena. Okay, yes, that is a WrestleMania rematch from last year. But, Diamond, does that particular match have enough potential to give fans an experience where they say to themselves, this was better than last year, minus a possible heel turn into John Cena?
Well, I think that the way that they framed the story, with, you know, going back and mentioning some details about the past and, you know, saying that he thought that The Rock was just going to leave off into the sunset, and he has this newfound respect for him, and these type of things. I think that all of that is great, and I think it plays into give us more of a backstory for this match. You know, with that being said, I don't have any problem with a rematch. I don't have any problem with this at all, and wrestling fans should not have a problem with it. If you look at the great feuds over the years, we saw Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair wrestle numerous times, Starrcade, Clash of the Champions, you know, whatever the event, Sting and Flair, The Rock and Triple H, The Rock and Stone Cold,
and The Rock and Stone Cold. Yeah, and The Rock and Stone Cold alone, they did meet 3 times. Might have not been consecutively, but they met 3 times at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
with Stone Cold going over twice.
Yeah, Yeah, and so, when people say that, I mean, I think that part of the biggest problem is the WWE taking the approach of, for the wrestlers to say, we're here to please you, the fans, and, I mean, it's sometimes you can take it too far, and then the fans are just sitting back with their arms folded and saying, okay, entertain me. You know what I mean? And when it's at that point, that's too much. Give us a great story, give us a great athleticism, and it's fine. And as long as the context of the story makes sense and it doesn't seem forced for us to have a rematch, then it makes sense. But, I mean, if you have two arch rivals, it's like Muhammad Ali fighting Joe Frazier. I mean, yeah, okay, it's a rematch, but we want to see it, and it makes sense. So,
right.
And
see, this is the thing. You never, the thing that I've noticed when it comes to doing radio, for example, you can't please everybody. There's always going to be those people, I don't like this, because, or they're going on too long about a subject, or, you can't please everybody, and I know there's...
Or they didn't talk about a subject long enough.
Exactly. I know there's some wrestling fans out there that will sit up and say, oh my God, this is just redundant, the matches that they're giving us, or you got to look at the bigger picture, and we've said this time and time again. It's all about what sells, and on top of that, I mean, man, The Rock is back. You know what I'm saying? It's like, who else could The Rock be taking on right now? Unfortunately, they aren't ready for the Brock Lesnar. They want to do that next year. Right now, they want it to be about The Rock and Cena, too. And, with The Rock being back more times than what he did in the previous 2 years, I told you guys once, I'll tell you guys again, enjoy this ride for what it's worth, because when The Rock hangs up his boots for good, those of you that are sitting up and complaining about The Rock, always going off to Hollywood, where's The Rock? You do your little 20-minute videos bitching about The Rock not being on Raw for 2 weeks, but then you get giddy like a schoolgirl when you see him pop up the next week. You guys are going to be the same ones that's going to be crying as you're eating a big fat bowl of Fruity Pebbles saying, Rock, come back. When you coming back to the WWE? So, I mean, I'm excited. I'm genuinely excited to see The Rock, John Cena 2. I'm expecting this encounter to be better than the first. Minus the weak Wade Barrett versus The Miz, you got a pretty damn good card. I mean, we got Big E Langston, Fandango making their WrestleMania matches debut. Ryback's having his first WrestleMania. The Shield having their first WrestleMania. We got CM Punk, Undertaker. The undercard alone, it's actually pretty damn decent. I actually like it on paper.
I agree.
Yeah, on paper, the card looks pretty damn good, minus Wade Barrett versus The Miz. And I will go on record and say this. You may feel differently. Well, actually, no, I think you may agree with me on this. With regards to that match, honestly, I think we should be seeing the United States champion, Antonio Cesaro. I mean, hopefully he's going to be on a pre-show. If not, I think it's a freaking travesty that he's not going to make an appearance at Mania.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think that he's going to be on the pre-show.
Yeah, because the rumblings that we're hearing right now is AJ Lee could be taking on Caitlyn for the Divas title.
Yeah. I think they're going in that direction.
Yeah, I pray to God that is a YouTube pre-show, and maybe Antonio Cesaro will be in an impromptu match for the United States title. Who knows? If Santino Marella is 100%, maybe we can actually see him return at Mania to challenge Cesaro for the U.S. title, come up short. But I need to see Cesaro at Mania. I mean, you got all this injection of new blood on this card, up-and-coming guys at that. You got to have Cesaro in there. Let's just put it out there. AJ Lee, we don't even need to go all in depth. AJ Lee, Caitlyn, if it does go down for the Divas title, how you see that going down?
AJ Lee. Give them all the titles, or a bunch of titles.
Hands down, AJ Lee.
Title tag team.
Yeah. Hands down, AJ Lee. I'm sorry. I'm tired of Caitlyn. You know, one user, I believe it was our good Twitter buddy and listener, longtime listener, Ursula, sweetheart too. She usually hooks us up with WWE Raw results whenever she goes to the events. She noticed, she said, you know, past several weeks we've seen Caitlyn. There hasn't been a Divas title. What, like, since she's become the champion, have they, like, terminated the title? What the hell's going on?
I mean, I don't know. I was thinking. I drew a blank. I don't know.
She hasn't done a damn thing with it, honestly. She hasn't, you know. I'm enjoying I never thought I'd say this. I'm enjoying the Bella Twins more than the WWE Divas Champion. I mean, that says a lot. So, yeah, that title needs to come off of her. AJ, at least she can work a crowd. I mean, she gets the people, you know.
Definitely.
She gets them talking, you know, cute little,
Definitely.
you know, little thing, and, you know, I'd break her. I'm sorry. She's a cute little thing, but I like my women to have, you know, some hips and some and all that good stuff. But yeah, on card, this WrestleMania looks like it's going to be pretty damn good. And those are your match predictions from us for WrestleMania 29. We do want to hear what you guys think. Who you all is going to be think is going to walk away victorious from this year's WrestleMania? Shoot us with a tweet. You can hit us up at the RCWR Show. Hit us up on Infinity One Prod. You can even send your WrestleMania picks over to Diamond K, over at the Diamond K Show. And we'll tally them up, and, you know, we'll give shout-outs to those of you that are on point when we get ready to do the RCWR post show covering the fallout from WrestleMania 29. And that's going to do it. I think we did a damn good show tonight. We ran into a little bit of overtime, but we covered a lot of great content, and it was nice that we hammered out the match predictions early. And it should be very interesting to see how things are going to be playing out between now and the pay-per-view itself. I want to give you guys a quick programming note. We will be back this Thursday night for Impact Showdown Radio. We'll cover the fallout from TNA. Hearing a major announcement is forthcoming as we got a big rematch set for the TNA World Heavyweight title. I would suspect that would be Bully Ray and Jeff Hardy. And if you guys have not followed TNA President Dixie Carter on Twitter, you may want to do so right now. She's at TNA Dixie. I'm hearing rumblings that she's thinking about giving tickets, I don't think away, but I believe she's trying to hook those that follow her on Twitter first crack at purchasing tickets for Slammiversary coming up, what's that, June 2nd in Boston, Massachusetts, right, Diamond?
Yep.
Yeah, so go follow her. She's at TNA Dixie, and we'll cover the fallout from that respected episode and also cover the latest in TNA wrestling-related news. Be Kind Rewind. Any episodes that you might have missed, go check them out right now on the downloads in the iTunes Store, Stitcher. Use the keywords, the RCWR Show. You know, you can even stream them on your game consoles now. That's right, on the Xbox 360 and on PlayStation. Just go grab that YouTube app, free for download, and you'll be able to check out all our great content over at the RCWR Show. And that's going to do it. Diamond, I'll give you the final word, buddy.
Well, wrestling is really at a point where it's just going to continue to get interesting and exciting, and this is going to be one of the reasons for the season of being a wrestling fan. Yeah, no doubt. I agree 100%. Only thing I can add to that, for those of you that want to continue to crap on the WrestleMania card, if you feel that inclined that this pay-per-view is going to suck, but there's that part of you that's still a little curious, do like I used to do in the past. I would just kick back. I'd get 3-4 friends together that I knew wanted to watch WrestleMania, and we split the costs of the pay-per-view. You know, we would have the money, everybody would come together, put the money together along with the food. We'd order the pay-per-view that way. That way, if, you end up not liking the whole event, at least you can sit up and say, well, damn, at least I only spent $10,
That's a lot better than saying, "Oh, I spent $50 on this fucking pay-per-view and it sucks." Just a little food for thought. All right, he's the one and only Diamond K. I'm the Black Avenger, Lee Sanders. We'll see you guys this Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, for Impact Showdown Radio. Meantime, be safe, be kind to one another. Good night, folks.